Y'all, let's have some floor time. So, I've been cooking on this video for a while that's like, it's okay to be bad at art. Because I really believe that, like, beginner artists are, like, feel like that they should cease to exist or something just because they're bad at something when they get started. And let me tell you, being incompetent at art isn't, like, a moral failing or anything, okay? Like, if you're having fun and expressing yourself, then you shouldn't give up. Take me, for example. I suck at constructing fictional languages, aka conlanging, and it's why I made a video about conlanging without linguistics, because I'm like so bad. But nonetheless, I joined this conlang relay here where, like Telephone, the game, you pass a snippet of text from one person to the next, and each time the person translates it into their own conlang. And I sucked at it. I thought I'd knock this out in like an hour, and it took me like 6. So, but this is what I started with. Along with this document explaining it here. So the first thing I had to do for me was convert all of this from musical notation into like text that I could easily read, because I suck at musical notation despite my 10 years of piano. And so I translated it to like this, and then the very first sentence confused me. Why did we have the terminative, which I hope I know what that means now, thanks to Google, and right next to the non-terminative? Why were they right next to each other? And also, is this step for second person? Like, is that correct? Because it said so in the paragraph, but if you go down to the glossary, it doesn't say that anywhere. So maybe, like, when the person sent it to me, it wasn't actually supposed to be featured in the piece, that was just supposed to be example, I don't know. It was really hard to separate suffixes from the notes, because the or from the words, because the words are like you can see all the words here, and so you have to pick them out here, but then they just keep going, right? And then the suffixes, like mark where they end, or like how you're using them, and it's like, but like I'm actually like so bad at just figuring that. So the other thing I was also confused with is like, were the suffixes able to happen in either order? Because when I was first looking at it, it didn't say that there was an order specification. So I thought maybe up a step, down a fourth was the same as down a fourth, up a step. But then when I read the document more, I realized that was, once again, in the paragraph and not in the glossary, that up a step, down a fourth was second person. And up a third minus a step was first person. And that was the same as like up a step minus a fourth or something. I don't know. So as you can see, this is going so well. So I did my best to match the patterns of the notes in the music piece with the notes in the glossary. Some of it was easy, like I knew that C, G, A, B, D was spider for sure, but some of it was harder, like this line, where I think it was like spider plus the third person subject suffix plus path plus DFD, and then plus the verb to be new plus FAF plus therefore plus 2B plus underneath plus EG, and then a line break thingy E, which I for some of these I like tried to write down if it was if that was what the steps were, because that was like the suffixes, but DFD was not one of the suffixes, and FAF was not one of the suffixes either. And also those could have been part of words instead, like the middle of words or something, if I was messing it up. So I could not figure out where to end anything. I also couldn't figure out if the phrase things, I forget what they're called, but in music, it's like you end your the thing that you're playing at that part, and I forget what they're called, but I could not figure out if they were important in the interpretation of the piece or not. By the 7th line, I assumed not, because there was some stuff that seemed like it went over. So yeah. On the last line, I could discover that up a fifth, down a fourth is the same as down a fourth, down a fourth, which means but, so that's kind of cool. And I really like the back and forth nature of this in this language. I think that's a really unique concept. But as a person who's bad at reading music, apparently, and also bad at conlanging, it sucked to read. That's just because I'm bad. That's a skill issue, I think that conlang is good. So I attempted to convert these fragments of words into readable sentences. So, for example, this first sentence, spider plus the third person subject suffix egg plus second person non-terminative plus actually terminative plus live/reside at plus the impersonal unspecified plus the second person agreement became spider eggs. You end up living in the sun, I think. And then you got the sun, but then underneath not but, I think. So I translated that to but then underneath not but web make you therefore spiders you net web you. I just kept going. Spiders are different, but, and then there was a suffix for the object near you, the object, and then near you, you made you stronger. And then it had the object again, therefore, or spiders, I couldn't tell, and not outperformed spiders. Spider facts, therefore, lower, maybe, and then something about humans and helping, and then therefore or spiders, or quests that therefore or spiders in the past, something no spider books, therefore give spiders not understand. So anyways, as you can tell, that's not real translation, so I had to try to figure out how to massage that into English, and I was at the end of my timetable, so I had to go. I also couldn't figure out why it was second person at the beginning and then third person ever after, so I decided for my translation into English that it was a human talking to spiders about spiders. Spider-splaining, if you will. So here's the second translation attempt in which I tried to massage it into something understandable. Spiders, your eggs end up living in you, but then, under the sun, you make your webs. Spiders are different than your nearby eggs. You are stronger. Spider eggs must not be overcome by other spiders. Humans helped spiders lower, which I interpreted to mean spin, new paths, or like lines, webs at their request. It is then give humans, I assume, it said spiders give them spider books afterwards. What a lovely sentence. So, translating it into Novathulian was pretty simple after that. Thulian is pretty Englishy in its grammar after all. Here's a fun fact about Novathulian. It's a Franco-Irish inspired language for my upcoming game, All the Promised Burn, a fantasy adventure about people overcoming their trauma in a hand-drawn fantasy world. Here's a second fun fact. The word for spider in Thulian is actually the Thulian word for Shahirza, the fantasy spider people in my world, but in the diminutive form. So it's like calling them little spider people, and I think that's super cute. Here's a third fun fact. Because I am, once again, bad at conlanging, the English passage of my conlang literally is something like this. Shahsits wons de vutrien vi vularin vanan de vutrien. Spiders, eggs of you all should live in you all. Sigen alicina davenu ovinel rotasia vutrian cumalan vagilanus Divutirian. But after time, below the king's spot, you all will make new weavings. Shazitz Zairalan inerlat zin wons Divutrian semieta. Vutrian Zairalan Idrian Serak. Spiders are timelessly different from the nearby eggs of them. You are all more strong. Inerlat Shehazits in inevoavin de ones the Shehazits. German spiders may not steal the eggs of spiders. The spiders that we're currently talking about. Asie evoava kuchalan fit vagirafave vutrian armarnalan. People gave the capability for spider silk ropes to you by question or request. Shehazits inevoava ket de Shehazits alicina davinu. Spiders historically gave books of the spiders then to the humans, presumably. So as you can see, I'm not really setting my running mate up for success. But none of that really matters because I had fun. And they'll have fun. And you'll have fun watching the next several episodes in this relay to see how the text changes over the next several entries. And my brain muscles got stretched, and no one's mad at me. Yeah, like, just listen to that. That's the sound of no one yelling at me. So, now I need to keep this vid short for the sake of the relay, but just remember, whenever you feel like starting something new and growing new skills, that it's probably going to be hard. And there's nothing wrong with being bad at something. And there's nothing wrong with staying bad at something as long as you aren't hurting anyone. Having fun is the baseline requirement, and everything else is extra. Have fun creating.